What's good? It's Woog. So I received an email last night from DAZN and it said important information about your DAZN subscription. So I immediately was thinking, uh-oh. And sure enough, I opened it up and started reading and I started getting to the parts. Okay, so how does whatever you're saying, how does this apply to me and my subscription? And just to be clear, I have been a subscriber of DAZN since the night of the Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Povetkin fight. So I subscribed in September of 2018. And what this email was telling me is that DAZN is raising their prices on their subscribers from what I was basically paying as $100 a year to about $250 a year. And where I was essentially paying, if you break it down monthly, I was paying somewhere between like $8 and $10 a month for DAZN. Once this increase kicks in, I would be paying about $18 to $19 per month. They are basically doubling their cost. And that is just for the DAZN platform. So even if you're paying about $19 a month now for DAZN, they're still going to include some of those pay-per-views where you're going to have to pay X amount of dollars on top of what you're paying for the monthly subscription. So for like Canelo Alvarez fights and for most Anthony Joshua fights. Now, it's almost funny with the timing, right? Because they just a few days ago announced that this upcoming Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin fight was going to be on DAZN, not DAZN pay-per-view, but just straight up DAZN. That sounded like a great deal until they doubled the DAZN cost just a few days later. So I don't think that timing and that decision to make Joshua Franklin a straight up DAZN event, I don't think that was any accident. I think that was almost the sweetener before they give you that harsh news. So we boxing fans, we're gonna have some tough decisions to make. I've got to go log into my account on the desktop and see when my annual cycle is up, because I'm gonna have to think pretty hard about whether or not I'm gonna continue the DAZN service. And look, I like the DAZN platform. I feel like it does provide good value for boxing fans. And, you know, I watch the DAZN boxing show. I like Akin Barak. I like it when they do Ade Oladipo and Tony Bellew. I like it when they do jabs with Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora. I'm totally enjoying the DAZN service. I mean, they have a lot of other stuff. They have some soccer on there, some darts, they have some random stuff, and they have some documentaries. Haven't seen too much of their documentaries, but they have some other stuff on there. But I'm basically there for the boxing, and they do a good job at presenting that content. Now, one thing that I would even give DAZN the edge over their competitors, and when I'm saying competitors, I'm talking about boxing competitors. I'm saying Showtime and the ESPN package. DAZN will allow you to watch, you know, fights that already happened. That, you know, if you can't make it during the part of the evening that the event takes place, you could, you know, come home later on in the night and then you could flip on the replay and watch the fight then. I don't get that with Showtime. Showtime, if you're not there when the fight takes place, you might have to wait like several days or a week before that content reaches the Showtime app where you could watch the fight that just happened a few days ago. So if you missed it by a couple of hours, you're pretty much out of luck, at least for that night, which is extremely frustrating. So DAZN does a good job at letting you watch the replays. ESPN allows you to do it as well, but DAZN also archives their fights pretty well, where, you know, you could basically get their entire catalog just by doing a search. Like if you want to watch Josh Warrington versus Mauricio Lara 1, no problem. Just start typing in Josh Warrington. It's going to come up. It's going to have the year next to it, and you can watch that fight. ESPN, they keep a few of their fights. They keep some of their content, but not nearly their entire boxing archive. Same thing with Showtime. They'll have like a few fights. Like you could now watch Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia, but you're not gonna get most of the fights that took place like 2 or 3 years ago on Showtime. So I think DAZN has the competition beat in that regard. But damn, almost $20 per month compared to ESPN cost me like what, $6.99, and they have way more overall content because I'm also getting the, you know, the UFC non-pay-per-view events through the ESPN Plus app. Again, for $6.99, that's like 1/3 of the cost that DAZN's about to start charging me. Showtime, I pay about you know, I'm still on the trial where it's like $6.99 or something like that, but they're gonna up it eventually to $9.99. So I'm still gonna be paying about half of what DAZN is about to charge me. Apple, I think I'm paying like $5 or $6 a month for Apple Plus TV and all of their content. For Disney Plus, I'm paying about $10, like $8.99 to $10 per month. All of these platforms are charging about half of what DAZN is about to start charging me. So yeah, this is an outrageous price hike. And you've got to consider, what are you getting with the non-pay-per-views? It's like, you know, I really like Virgil Ortiz, and I like, you know, Josh Warrington. I like Lee Wood. I like a lot of the fighters that are featured on DAZN non-pay-per-view, because you get, you know, the Matchroom events and you get the Golden Boy events. Both of them have their fights on the DAZN platform. So you're getting two of the promoters here. But still, I mean, if you look at their week over week content, it's not necessarily better than what PBC has on the Showtime side. Like, look at the first few months of 2023 on the Showtime side. It's a lot of activity. Yes, they do have a couple pay-per-views as well, and they have been known to be one of the abusers of the pay-per-view model, especially with fights like, you know, Chris Arreola versus Andy Ruiz, right? But if you look at their week over week content, Showtime and PBC, it's not too bad relative to the competition. And again, you're paying about half of what you would be paying on the DAZN side. And, you know, maybe it would make a little bit more sense if you were still getting the Bellator events over at DAZN, but Bellator is now with Showtime. So Showtime's giving you the PBC boxing and they're giving you Bellator for, again, about half the cost of DAZN. So, you know, let me know what you think. Let me know, one, if you are subscribed to DAZN and were you grandfathered into like the $9.99 or $99 a year rate? Because I was grandfathered in since I had joined like in 2018. So let me know if you are a DAZN subscriber. Let me know what you're currently paying. Let me know if you are going to continue being a DAZN subscriber in light of this news of this price increase. Yeah, this is no small deal. Like, the people that I'm talking with, like my cousin Benji, he just said, yo, I think I'm out. I think he already might have unsubscribed from the DAZN platform. So we'll see how this impacts DAZN as a business and how it impacts boxing consumption in America, because it's already becoming more and more of a niche sport. I mean, there's a lot of data to point to that is very problematic. And I'd imagine that DAZN made this move not necessarily out of greed. Let me know if you know better, but probably out of necessity, because I see this as being a very polarizing move. I think they're going to lose a lot of subscribers here in the States after that price increase. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this DAZN related news. Man, $20. I mean, think about what you are paying $20 a month on right now. Like, again, it's not going to be any, like, I think I pay like 10 to 12 bucks or something like that for Spotify. And I use Spotify all the damn time. And $12 a month is probably about the limit to where I would go Spotify wise. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just kind of thinking that I don't think I would pay $20 or $25 a month for Spotify. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. I'm really gonna have to think about this. Again, I'm gonna look at my account and look at when my annual renewal is due, and I'm gonna have to make a tough decision at that point. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're a subscriber, if you're gonna continue to subscribe. Let me know what you think went into this decision making in this price increase. But yeah, this is a big deal. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are into the fight talk. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.